Hello, welcome on back, everyone. I'm not gonna lie, I have been loving this Templar build to death. I honestly can't play anything else. I have a new Dragonite build that I've been trying to work on, and I have to farm gear for it, and I just constantly find myself logging into PvP to play this build instead of farming the gear that I really should be farming. But on the plus side, I at least got to have a lot of fun on my Templar. Now, this thing is the best build I think that I've ever played on my Plar. Honestly, I didn't think it would be as good as it was, and once I had released the build video for this, which is out if you guys want to check it out, I didn't have the right interpretation of how strong this build was either. I didn't quite understand just how good a build like this can be in PvP. And it all comes down to the fact that it reflects a massive amount of damage. Look at this fight here where we're fighting this Sork in the tower. We get a 6.8k blazing shield, and then on top of it, he's going to take direct damage burst from our bone shield as well. And then we drop the Dawnbreaker on to seal the deal. An absolute insane amount of damage for something like 45k hit points to be putting out. And yeah, the more I play this build, the more I honestly think that this is a really good build, and not just that, but this is possibly an archetype that we could see a lot of Templars begin to explore in the future. Now, just like any build, this thing definitely has its weaknesses. I think with the very powerful dot meta, especially a lot of these sets that apply so many different damage over time abilities, we can definitely struggle to tank that out, but I think everybody is going to struggle against that amount of pressure this patch. That being said, let's get into commentating this fight. You can see right off the bat, we are just causing so much havoc in this keep, just picking up kills left and right, and this enemy Sork trying to jump on top to save his friendly player there, and we're just going to put a lot of pepper into him. Look at this, the Sork does not heal up right away, going for the Dark Deal now, and we're just going to do the greatest thing that we can do, and that is spam Power of the Light at a distance to actually finish him off with the initial poke. That Sork, man, really had to go for the heal there. And now this Nightblade does get the res on the Sork. We jump right on top with the Gap Closer, right into the Donnie, and then try to go for some jabs on the Nightblade. The Nightblade right away going for the Counter Fear, and he runs inside. And more yellow players come running around the corner here on top of us. And we're just going to use that medium armor dodge roll. I mean, I gotta love it, man. We've got those chunky shields, and on top of it, we're in medium armor, so we can roll a lot more than something like heavy armor would be able to. And we managed to get into the keep here. A big change I've made to the build is I've dropped Race Against Time in favor of switching out Rally to Momentum. And there you saw me use Momentum to keep the snare immunity to get safely inside this tower. And not a lot of the yellow players follow me. I'm going to be perfectly honest, people aren't really sure how to approach this kind of a build. They look at my hit points and they instantly assume that I won't have damage and I'm very tanky. And none of those are very true. I mean, I have quite a bit of damage, and I'm not insanely tanky either. And I think it throws people off a little bit, and I think that's a big reason why the yellow group was just kind of like, okay, don't chase the 45k HP tank in the tower, which is usually a good call, but look at this, we're just going to jump right on top of the guys going for the repair on the wall, quickly kill a guy repairing the wall, and then just start attacking the rest of the players down here. And there's the big group of yellow coming in. I tried to go for that Dawnbreaker to slap the Nightblade there with it, but not the best placement on that one. And I'm going to kite into the top of the tower. And now I think the rest of this yellow group, having taken care of the red outside, are going to be chasing us down here. And they want to repair the wall first. Just a couple players on top of us. Really good, though, because I was able to get that Greatsword heavy attack off. Really good for that stamina resource conservation there. And we get a great off-balance stun on that guy with the partial charged heavy. Unfortunately, the enemy player going for a lot of pressure there. And I was caught a little bit with my pants down. So we're just going to pound a few shields here. Go for the Vigor as well. And that rotating defense of the two shields into the Vigor, standing inside of our healing ring, of course, gives us a lot of durability. We're able to get back up to full health, drop a big Dawnbreaker there. We saw the Blazing Shield go off in that combo too, and that's one thing that I absolutely love about this build. Our shields are not only one of our best defensive utilities, but look at the chip that we're putting in this Nightblade just right off the bat. Sorry, the Necromancer here as he dizzy swings us, and we just feed him the Blazing Shields to the face. This guy here getting a very fast res. I didn't even see that. And he manages to pick that guy up, just about getting the kill on this Nightblade. He's just out of range of the Executioner, and I decided not to stick that out. I definitely think that was the right call because I'm in a dangerous situation there. And now is probably the greatest icing on the cake for a build like this, putting that Resto Ult on top of it. Quickly shooting up back to full health there. And we managed to get our potion too, so we get a little bit of resource back. Another heavy attack at the top of the tower. I think that was a little risky because there's so many players coming around that corner. And we're just going to give these guys the best kite business I can. But at this point, our resources slowly starting to dwindle more and more. I know we either have to retreat or we have to try to kill something here. Go for the Glory Dawnbreaker. And they are just going to smash me, go for the healing ult and everything. That being said, I think that was a really great clip just showcasing the raw power of this build. Honestly, I just feel strong on it. I feel like 50% Emperor, you know? Not quite an Emperor, but about halfway there. Now, for our next fight here, I have got a little bit of a skirmish with a couple yellow players. And what I really like about this build is just the fact that we have such a high hit point value. I go for the shootout with these guys, not going for my shields or anything. And they try to chip my hit points down while I chip theirs down. And I've just got a bigger hit point pool to work with. So it allows me to take a bit more favorable engagements when we're both lower on hit points, and I quite enjoy that too. And there you see I was just trying to poke everybody that I could, seeing if these yellow wanted to fight. This guy decides he wants to duke it out. We're going to give him the jabs into the Executioner. Lots of damage on that guy. I would even say deceptively high damage, especially on this build with the Markarth band. Our numbers look a lot lower than the amount of damage output we're putting. I think it's just because we are using so many different things to hurt our opponent at the same time. And here you can see we start duking it out with this Stamsork. I make sure to keep my shields up throughout the 1v1 always. Look at that amount of damage that it did on top of our jabs there. So it's just going to amplify our damage even further. There I see a Magsork come in. He's got a lot of hit points, so I'm just going to stay on top of this Stamsork only at 30k. We dropped the first Dawnbreaker on him there, catching him with a good burst on the shields as well. And the dot from the Donnie into the jabs. He doesn't have the best placement on that streak, and we managed to bring that guy down. And I'm going to jump on top of this guy. Hey, man, I'll take the challenge, see if we can bring him down. Right away putting the pressure in, and he just sits on the ground while the rest of the yellow come to save him. We're not going to stick around here. There's going to be a lot more yellow coming out of this keep that I saw there. And we're just going to kite our way back here. We've got one player just attacking us there. I go for the resto heavy attack as we had the opportunity. A good roll there. We stun the Templar, stun the guy in the back, and an Executioner roll cancel off the end of the jabs to bring that guy down. Oh man, I love seeing that. 45k HP and still blasting people at the front of a Zerg. And the enemy group going for a hard punish there. I managed to get the resto ult right before I got stunned, but they're dropping negates and everything. Look at this, the second negate. Oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do against this? Just way too much incoming damage. We do have resource to work with, but we just cannot survive that amount of pressure. And look at all those beautiful proc sets too. What a meta we're living in. That being said, guys, I am absolutely loving this build. I'll let you guys enjoy the last fight here as we say our goodbyes. Just the fact that we can reflect damage like this, I mean, the gameplay style is so much fun, and we can handily burst people with like 30k hit points. I am not disappointed. In fact, I've got to say, from the build video to now, I definitely think this build is better than my initial impression of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to send in clips for the top 5, you can send it to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. And of course, you can check out my website, KristoferESO.com, if you want to find written guides to all of my builds, as well as a hub for all of my ESO content. Give me a follow on Twitch to catch that live gameplay, and check me out on Twitter if you guys want to keep up to date with what's going on. We are sponsored by What the Fast, a VPN for gamers. They can give you better ping to your favorite games, and they're free to try for the first month. Link down below for you guys. And then last but certainly not least, a big thank you and a massive shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You guys make the dream work, so thank you so much for supporting. Thank you everybody for watching and tuning in today. As always, I hope that you enjoyed. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time.